Here is the face of the woman who killed her own daughter. This is the story of Madam Bisola, a market trader married to Baba Adeyemi, a man with 2 wives. Bisola was the first wife. Then came Madam Morenike, the second wife, younger, softer, and effortlessly adored. Baba Adeyemi did not hide his affection. He laughed more. He lingered longer. His eyes followed Morenike in a way they no longer followed Bisola. Fate placed both women on the same path at the same time. They were pregnant together and went into labor almost on the same day. Madam Bisola, the first wife, safely delivered a beautiful baby girl she named Damilola. But tragedy struck the second wife, Madam Morenike. Her labor was long and very difficult. By the time her cries faded, she was gone, leaving behind a newborn daughter, Morayo, and a house filled with mourning. The death of Morenike broke Baba Adeyemi. Grief silenced him. Life had to move on, and so Madam Bisola took both girls into her care. But from the very beginning, love was divided. Damilola was graced with warmth and indulgence, but Morayo was raised on tolerance. 18 years passed. Both girls grew into striking young women. Damilola was beautiful, confident, and spoiled. Pride clung to her like perfume. But Morayo was just as beautiful, but gentle, grounded, and respectful. Grace lived quietly in her. Madam Bisola praised Damilola without effort, without thought, but Morayo lived under constant correction. You're too much. Don't get ahead of yourself. Know your place, she often told her. At school, Morayo excelled academically, socially, effortlessly. Her calmness drew people in. Her composure stood out. Compliments followed her like sunlight. Even Baba Adeyemi grew fond of her. He noticed her kindness, her humility, the way she carried herself without noise. He protected her gently, the way he once protected her mother. Madam Bisola noticed too. She smiled in public, but inside, something tightened. Jealousy took root. Morayo was becoming and having everything she had hoped Damilola would be, and so the cruelty deepened. Madam Bisola began to deliberately dim Morayo's light. School fees were delayed, books were denied, food was withheld. She was beaten regularly, burdened with every household chore, while Damilola did nothing. Still, Morayo did not fight back. Even when Damilola mocked her, even when she bullied her, Morayo remained kind, hopeful, quietly strong. Jealousy began to consume Madam Bisola. Damilola grew reckless and careless, yet Madam Bisola defended her fiercely, excusing every fault, but resentment gnawed at her soul. How could the outsider be better than her own blood? And so the hatred hardened. Blinded by envy and desperation, Madam Bisola made a decision that would seal her fate. She poisoned Morayo, determined to end the torment once and for all. Morayo collapsed. She was rushed to the hospital after Baba Adeyemi discovered her. Madam Bisola sat alone, a bitter smile on her face, convinced that at last Morayo was out of the way. At last, her husband's love would belong only to Damilola. Then there was a knock. A frail old woman stood at the door. Her voice trembled as she introduced herself as Iya Nifemi, the midwife on duty the night both women gave birth 18 years ago. With tears in her eyes, she confessed. In the confusion of that night, after cleaning the babies, she had mistakenly exchanged them. Fear of losing her job kept her silent, but guilt had followed her for years. Her conscience would not let her rest. Madam Bisola's world stopped. She was not biologically related to the daughter she had protected all these years. Shock, denial, anger, blame. The truth unfolded slowly, painfully. Mariah, the child she abused, starved, and despised, was her real daughter. Swapped at birth, raised as less, loved as an obligation. Her own daughter was the light she had desperately wanted to dim. For a second, she was proud that her biological daughter was the better one, but then every insult echoed back. Every withheld kindness screamed at her. She realized she had not been punishing a trait, she had been rejecting her own reflection. Madam Bisola broke. Suddenly remembering Mariah was still in the hospital, she ran there in terror, only to be met with the irreversible truth. Mariah was gone. She had killed her own daughter. Madam Bisola collapsed in grief, wailing in regret. Too late for forgiveness and too late for redemption. Some mistakes cannot be undone. Some truths arrive only to reveal how deep the damage already is. If this story moved you, hit like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more emotional African tales. Mariah stayed gentle and strong even when life was unfair. If you were in her shoes, how would you have handled it? What verdict or punishment do you think Madam Bisola deserves? And do you think Damilola or Baba Deyemi shares any of this blame? Share your thoughts in the comments.